Okay, so our next lesson on crime and deviance, still on theories, and we're going to carry on looking at labelling theory. So we're going to study and explore the implications of this theory. If it's true, what does it mean for us and crime and deviance and what we think about it generally? To understand how the process works, thinking like a sociologist. Keywords: role status, master status. This is the status everybody gives you when they first hear your name. Mr. Wyszyński, you think teacher. That's my master status. Automatic, happens automatically. Behaviour, judge, judgment, job. Unemployed, suspicion. Interpret, deviant, expelled, chucked out. Exiled, same thing. Deviant culture, lifestyle. A self-fulfilling prophecy, something you make sure. And again, Becker's idea is called symbolic interactionism. It's not what happens, it's what happens, who's watching it, what they think of the people who are doing it. It's an interaction between lots of things in people's heads. So, labelling. The result of labelling is that people can be judged. They can be suspected of things. So, you see these blokes in the street, and you think, oh, they're builders. Unless you happen to know that they've recently come out of prison for burglary. In which case you think, oh, they're burglars. Look at the tools they're wearing, they're going to rob somebody. You see this car. You think, that's a nice car. The person driving that car must be successful. High status person. And then they wind the window down. It's a couple of black geezers like that. And then what do you think? You think drug dealer. The actions haven't changed. It's the label that's changed. So that's your example. So I'll put one of these examples. Because of labelling, you suspect people, you change what you think about why people are doing something at certain times. Now, if this is successful, if labelling works, it gives somebody it can change somebody's master status. The first thing you think of when you see a person. It becomes their master status. So at the moment, my master status to you lot is teacher. If I was to go to prison, and when I came out of prison, the first thing that would come into your head when you heard my name or saw me would be whatever the crime was I went to prison for. It would become my master status. We've all got them. It's the first thing everybody thinks about you when they see your face or hear your name. It's your master status. Yeah? So you can write down some examples of that in class. Moving on. If your master status is criminal, rapist, paedophile, drug addict, you could well be expelled or exiled from your social group. Your family, your friends will not wish to know you anymore. And then you could go off and join a deviant subculture. These junkies here are hanging out with other junkies. It's some sort of basement smoking drugs. They've joined a subculture. They've been chucked out of the main culture, Becker would have said, and they've formed their own subculture based around their deviance. Different norms and values. Sharing needles, sharing drugs, whatever it is they're doing, it becomes their subculture. Lots of criminal groups do this. Criminal gangs are a great example of a deviant subculture. And this can in fact lead in an extremist to what's called a deviant career. It can become who you are for good. Yeah. So, gay pride is used as an example of a deviant career. Group of homosexual men who have been basically kicked out who will feel that they've been kicked out of the main culture. They've gone to certain places in the south of England, places like Brighton, and they live their lives this way. Their deviance is part of their life, and because they live in such a large community, they can live there permanently. It becomes what's called a deviant career. It's also linked to what we call in the past deviance amplification. By simply going on about the deviance, by establishing the master status, you can in fact make the deviance worse, because the person who's being labelled has no choice anymore. They can't get the irregular job because people have labelled them as a thief, therefore they won't employ them. In those circumstances, they may feel they have to carry on with their deviance simply in order to survive. Deviance amplification.